Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations, and today we have got a very fast, very cute, very easy little craft. And for this, I am digging into my store of driftwood. So I live fairly close to Lake Ontario, and my mother is even closer. So when I'm visiting her, if I need little stones or rocks or some pieces of driftwood, I go and I just collect them from the shores. So yeah, lucky. Now you can do this with any kind of piece of wood. I like the look with some driftwood, and here I'm focusing on two things. I need a stick and I need a base. So I'm just looking at my stick options and my base options. That's a fun, it's like I start digging through and then it's like, oh, that's a fun piece. What could I do with that piece? And that's the fun part about driftwood, that's for sure. Okay, there's another stick. So ultimately, I just need to have kind of the right combination, the right size of these things. So I need to determine which piece I'm using and then see what I've got. So let me see. All right, just they have to be proportional, right? So let me see. That may be bigger than I want to do. This one's maybe a nice size. That could work with it. Okay, I think I just might go with this little guy. Just do a little one, but I want to do them this way. Okay, let's do that. Let's do a nice quick little one. So things like that are just good to have on hand. They're just kind of fun that way. So we need a couple of little pieces of wood, and I need a map. Now, I'm using an old map. You could, if you like the idea of a map but you don't have one, you could print something out on your computer. You could take just pieces of paper. You could use scrapbooking paper if you wanted it patterned. You could use some decoupage paper. You could use a piece of fabric for this. I want them backed. So meaning I want this on a fold line because I want pattern on both sides. So I'm thinking, and here I'm just going to kind of sketch something out. Well, not with any of those because still all my pencils have no nibs. So I need, you're going to be at the bottom and this is going to attach in. So maybe coming about here and coming up about the fold line. And how long are you? So coming out to about here-ish. That would work. Okay. So now that I have that, you'd think I'd have my ruler ready, but no, I didn't. So I'm just going to kind of draw out my cut line, which I had lost already. There's a lot of lines on the map. All right, so I'm gonna take a pair of scissors and I'm gonna cut this out. I need straight scissors. And I feel like I lost my line already. Okay, there we go. So I'm just doing a triangular sail. So, if you were doing fabric, I would just maybe back the fabric, glue it together so that you've got something a little bit stiffer. If you're using like decoupage paper, you could wax it, or you could actually decoupage it together, leave it to dry on, leave it to dry out on some plastic wrap so that you could peel it off so that it's a little bit thicker. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and I'm going to glue my two sides together. And this way, I have a sail. Now, one of the reasons that I had wanted to do it on a fold was because then this folded edge is a little bit thicker, a little bit more substantial, and it's going to hold up a little bit better to this. So this is the front. This is the front of my boat, and I'm doing that because my wood is fatter on this end and a little bit rounded here. So I am going to have to kind of drill a hole in there. Now, if you've got a drill and you can drill a hole that's going to fit your particular wood piece, then perfect. If you don't, you can take, like if you're using driftwood, you can actually take just a screwdriver. So I don't know what kind this is called. It's the pointy one, the star one. I know one is called a Phillips, but I don't know if that's a flathead one or if this is a Phillips. I don't know. If somebody ever asked me to hand them a screwdriver, they'd have to describe the shape. Calling it by name wouldn't do it. But you want to get some kind of a hole in there so that you can ultimately attach this in. So I'm gonna go do this. I've already got it started, but you don't want to watch me have to do tons of that. So I'm gonna get that going, and then there's another step to this just to help it out a little bit. You can see the hole that I have drilled in there, which will hold that up perfectly. I'll be adding a little bit of hot glue to that, but I want to get my sail in first. So what I have done is I've taken an X-Acto knife and I have started to cut down into my wood. Now again, because I'm using driftwood, which all that soaking in the water has made this a lot more soft, I guess is the best word. It really doesn't take a lot to be able to create some little gouges in there. And this is where I want to be able to stick my sail. Now, if you're using a different kind of wood, maybe you've got a little wooden dowel piece that you're using, it's going to be harder to be able to do this. So what you could do instead, you know, if you're using something like this, you could punch small little holes and you could wrap them around, almost sew it onto that. That would certainly work as well if you are doing fabric, if you had done a fabric one. So let me just finish getting my little indented line here. You can see it's not taking that much. Let me finish that off and I'll come on back. All right, to be able to insert this, I'm just gonna use a little bit of E6000. I think it's gonna be a little bit easier if, just seeing if it started to seal up on me. But if I get, let me get the, there we go. If I get the glue on the edge, and this is that folded edge of my map. And I get that inserted down into that little gap that I made. And here's our finished little sailboat. Now, very simplistic looking, but I think that's part of the beauty of it. You can have these in all shapes and sizes because, of course, you're starting out according to the size of the base. you could start with a little tiny base and be able to go from there. To be able to get that sail to sit nicely, I did take the back of the X-Acto knife and just kind of help push it into the crevice that I'd created all along. But I like the look and I like the combination. If you were doing this, let's say you were doing this for a market and you know that you're going to be in a particular area, then grabbing some maps that are from that area and doing it with a particular town name very visible on it, especially in something like cottage country, I think would be an awesome little touch. But you could, if you were doing a number of small ones, I would do them with super colorful sails, all of them a different color, so it looks like it was a regatta, and they've all got their own distinctive sails. Very quick, but simple and cute. Let me know what you think of this one. I look forward to seeing you on the next. Until then, take care.